How do you do? We're about to unfold the story of
the son of Frankenstein.
This one is probably just as bad as his father.
Good morning, son.
Well, hello.
My son, you have inherited the fortune of the Frankensteins. I trust you will not inherit their fate.
By heaven, I think you're a worse fiend than your father. What are you gonna do about it? There's a monster afoot and you know it.
Well, we've warned you.
You've been warned. Welcome back to Frankenstein Minute, the podcast that dissects the Universal Frankenstein film series minute by minute. I'm Bill Evenson.
And I'm Tom Lang, and you join us for minute 13 of 1939's Son of Frankenstein. We finally have found out what's in the box. Burgomaster Stiller did not lie. It is certain papers pertaining to the estate.
Apparently J.J. Abrams, you know who that is?
Yeah, I know who that is.
Makes, who cares? But apparently this is like a theory he has of movie making, is everything is, something about in the box. I don't know if it's called a mystery box. He calls it mystery box.
So it's like a MacGuffin.
It's like a
Hitchcock.
MacGuffin. Well, yeah. For some reason, I sometimes picture a MacGuffin as being something like in Pulp Fiction, where you never even find out what's in the box.
What it is. It doesn't matter.
But once you find out what J.J. Abrams is all about, like if J.J. Abrams had died in 2015, I think he'd be more well regarded. Once you see what he's doing, it makes his movies a little harder to watch. I didn't like that last Star Wars at all.
It had its moments, I think,
Yeah.
but
it was there were all kinds of little mysteries and it was like they were on a little mission and they had to find a dagger and they took the dagger to look at the thing and they had to talk to somebody. That's what I have to say about the mystery. This is a mystery box, and we opened the mystery box to appropriately spooky horror movie organ.
Yeah, it's got the organ.
Is it just an organ? Is it
Yeah, I
like the
think it's
organ that was at my grandma's house and you turn it on and it'll go...
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the Hammond organ, like the Doors use.
That's right. You can tell it's got the spinning Leslie speakers.
Yep. Well, it's reminiscent too of the.
Not all that dissimilar to the Doors, though. When I think about it bad.
It's also reminiscent of the music when Pretorius is in the crypt having his lunch and laughing. There's an organ.
Okay.
It's a little clunkier and more comical in that scene.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the dance macabre.
Yeah, that's right. Right. Yeah, that's like the name of the song in the soundtrack. But it's an organ, and there's another organ in the Hermit scene. Oh, really?
When
the
Ave Maria, praying.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, because I was going to say mainly I think of the violin.
No, but it's part of the soundtrack.
Right.
It's, as he's praying, and
I like when it stops. So I guess I don't like the organ all that much here. Because for the most part, I find the soundtrack of this film to be pretty good. I can listen to it. And the organ is a little bit off-putting.
I prefer Brides.
I think I prefer this one.
I
don't know. It really doesn't matter.
Brides feels more cohesive.
The problem with these things, okay. Well, to me, Bride seems more evocative of the film. So when I listen to the Bride soundtrack,
you know exactly
I
what's
can tell
happening.
you what scene's going on.
Yeah.
And in this one,
I can listen to this.
Basically, when I listen to the whole thing, I think, is this the scene where he's pulling on that chain? But
for
we'll
like
get there.
20 minutes of.
Anyway.
And like Dino has said, it works hard to make scenes appear exciting that aren't.
I was just gonna contradict myself. I was just gonna say, yeah, but that doesn't happen here. But that's more or less what's happening
here
with that organ music.
Yeah.
I'll concede that, and it happens again later.
Yeah, Benson has a little flashback to Dr. Jekyll. He seems a little concerned as Wolf starts to get into Henry's letter.
It's an interesting letter. It's another one of these things I've been trying to figure out how I want to say it. But I think one way to look at it, in my opinion, is, and you're saying this about Benson made me think of it, is it seems almost as if somehow Wolf wrote the letter.
Yes.
Because it doesn't sound like Henry.
It doesn't sound like Henry.
It sounds exactly like Wolf's impression of Henry.
Yeah, this is not Henry's attitude.
Right.
It's Wolf.
It's certainly not Henry's. I will concede this to the film. Okay. If I have to concede something to the film, it's been a while. So maybe Henry, when
softened
in
his dotage,
he certainly had reason to. Okay, so if you look at it as being, say, decades later, he certainly could look back on what happened and feel differently about it. And if so, you could see him feeling this way about it. It seems a bit of a stretch.
I suppose, but I mean, it's what killed his father.
Yeah.
It brought nothing but ruin.
It's what killed his father. I guess we assume so.
We assume he died the night, what was supposed to be the original wedding night.
Hey, people gotta die, just like the COVID deniers
Yeah,
tell you.
yeah.
People
Yeah,
die.
people die.
But no, you're right.
So this whole letter encouraging
And his
him
good
to-
buddy Pretorius,
Yeah,
he's dead now
He's dead
too.
now. Waldman is dead. Fritz.
Waldman actually is a better. Yeah, that's actually true.
You get the impression that while they didn't necessarily agree, that he and Waldman were fairly close. He had him invited to his wedding, for crying out loud.
Apparently, and Victor, of course,
Victor
must have died because we
must
don't
have
know what
died 'cause
happened to him.
never see him again.
Thankfully, Victor died because we didn't need him hanging around.
No, gumming up the works.
Yeah, so if you could add a 1 second to this scene where Benson goes to pour the brandy and Wolf grabs the letter like he's got it in his pocket, because this really sounds like
he's
he
just
wrote it.
Reading out, he's just complete diary of my experiments, charts, secret formulas.
That's kind of cool. I like
Yeah.
that, actually. I don't know why. I like secret formulas.
I assume this is the stuff that Waldman was supposed to have collated after they take Henry back to the family home.
Right.
He's all, he's, oh, my notes, so I'll take care of it.
Oh, I see.
You
Sure.
know, so it was all still at the watchtower. So at some point, Henry collected them from there before it blew up, apparently. Because then there's
Yeah.
also the notebook that Waldman was writing in, had in the margins of some of the shots, you can see little notes and things.
Right.
So all of that was still at the watchtower. So at some point, Henry had to have gone and collected them.
I
And apparently bound it in a leather book that we see in the next few films. Or,
Yeah, I was going to say, we're going to see a lot of this.
The Secrets of Life and Death by Henry Frankenstein.
I don't know if you've ever done anything more than once, but since he does do pretty much the same thing twice, although I gotta say, in the script, referring again to the script, this same scene does refer to the second time as being a completely different experiment.
Yes.
Which
And
really
we-
undercuts what I was going to say.
Well, but we gather that from the film itself, from Bride itself.
Yeah,
It's
true.
a different technique.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your question, done anything twice? Yeah. Usually you improve upon.
Well, and you are more likely to remember it. So if he said, "Oh my God, my notes have been destroyed," well, I was there. I did it. It was my idea. I did this, and you start writing it down.
Yeah, sure.
It's not exactly like that. Anybody who's written anything and then had your fucking computer crash knows.
Yeah. You cannot
Like,
spit it
God
out.
help us if this episode doesn't save correctly.
It's over.
We actually had that. Episode 0 of this podcast.
That's right. We had to redo
was our
it.
retake. So if
Yeah.
you go back and listen to our very first episode where we just introduce ourselves and what
Yeah.
we're up to, if there's any parts that sound stiff, it's because
we
may
were
be
basically
reciting what we said.
retreading. Yeah, because it didn't
Just
record.
delete that one. Let's do that one again.
Okay.
Perhaps you will regard my work with ridicule or even with distaste.
Oh, first though.
Oh, okay. Let's do first part first. First things first.
Sum total of my knowledge, such as it is.
I like that. There's a humility there.
Yeah. That sounds like Henry.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, one line.
Yeah, you're right. There's nothing about Wolf or his thoughts on Henry or anything else in this letter that gives you that impression.
That Colin Clive
that
sat
there'd be
down and
any
wrote
humility.
this. But I like this, such as it is. Yeah, despite all of the epic tragedy that surrounded it, it was still a remarkable accomplishment.
Yep.
Say what you want.
I will.
You still
I
can't
got
do
plenty
it.
to say.
You still can't do it.
No.
So it was pretty impressive.
No, you're right. You still can't do it. Are you familiar with the theory that we are in the Matrix? We talked about this?
You know, like the film.
Yeah, just like the film. But I mean, we don't know for sure. But basically, the point is
there's all these
there's a
philosophical things.
philosophical theory that says that virtual reality will eventually get to the point that you will be indistinguishable from reality. If you accept that as a given, then it seems much more likely, and smarter people than me have gone through this apparently and decided this makes some kind of sense. It makes much more sense that we are in fact in it, and than that we're not.
Why?
I don't know, but. It does make sense. It makes a hell of a lot more sense to me now than it did a couple of years ago.
Well,
Because now when I turn on the news, I go, "Oh, I see. It's broken. The fucking computers are fucking broken.
Program is
broken
got a
for
glitch.
years."
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. When you put it that way, now I'm convinced.
Now it's compelling.
Yeah.
And why did I bring this up? What were we talking about? Oh, Lord. Podcast has gone off the rails again.
Yeah, regard my work with ridicule or even distaste. It's not likely he's a Frankenstein. It's in their blood, I tell you.
Oh, yeah?
You hear that line. You hear that
turns
line
out
a
to be
lot.
true, actually.
Yeah.
What I wrote about that is it's out of order. It should be, perhaps you look on my work with distaste or even ridicule. It seems to me distaste comes before ridicule, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Ridicule is you've completely dismissed it altogether.
Right.
I would have said distaste or even ridicule.
Yeah, I think
I
that
do
would-
like that once he says that. Then he says, if so, destroy
Destroy
these
these
records.
Then he
And
looks up at the portrait.
He's like shocked. Like,
He's like,
Father, how could... Yeah, he looks...
What? Are you
I
out of your
should
mind?
quit doing it. It's an audio podcast.
Yeah.
Gotta get that video up in here.
Because, people want to see a couple of old guys sitting around a table.
Yeah, I think history has shown. Yeah, he looks at the painting as if shocked by the notion he would ever think such a thing, or
Yeah.
his father could write such a thing, which is completely within what we know about Wolfe's character. And how
It fits Wolfe, and also another line that fits Henry is to just destroy all that shit.
yeah.
But it's not for the reason that I think Henry would say to destroy it.
I just remembered why we're in the Matrix. Because in the Matrix, you could easily do what Henry did.
Okay.
That's all. Is at some point, we probably will reach a point that someone will do this because we're in the Matrix.
You don't think the reality as we think we know it, someone could do it eventually?
No.
Really?
No.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. Now I've already changed my mind. Yeah, I suppose in some, yeah, you're right. It's
I
probably
mean,
got
you look at
some
the
way to do it.
advances that have taken place over
Here's,
the past
I guess,
100 years.
here's the problem, is where I exist in history, and this is why I'm having such a problem with it, is if you look at where Mary was in history, and the way they looked at science and medicine at that point, it looked pretty fucking great. It looked like it was going to be a pretty great deal, and she was right.
Everything was possible, but
Yeah, she was right. It was really fucking great. For
Yeah.
example, have you had your COVID vaccine? Pretty
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
great stuff.
yep.
But I just don't, I think she went a little bit too far.
well, certainly it's like
And she knew that too.
Yeah, she knew
but,
that.
But it's just what she was basing it on. All this, what do you call it? Galvanism and that kind of stuff turns out to be really not even
alchemy and yeah.
alchemy, for Christ's sake.
Well, I think even that is dismissed in the book though, because that's what first fires Victor's imagination.
Yeah.
And when he gets to Ingolstadt University, Waldman is like, "Psha, nobody reads that shit anymore. Here's what you want to read instead."
Yeah.
I'm actually reading a really interesting book. I ordered it not realizing it was a novel.
Okay.
But it's about her, it starts before she's met Percy Shelley and their relationship and how all of the tragedy and passion that took place in the wake of that led to her writing Frankenstein. Very interesting. Far better than I thought it would be. Far more interested in it than I ever thought I would be. So when I got it and realized it was a novel, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
But it's really well done. It's all monsters, I believe.
Well, what's interesting is we talked a little bit. I never finished watching the movie, but it was called Mary Shelley.
Oh, I
and
haven't
I think
seen
that
that yet.
might have been what that was.
I
But
haven't
then again,
seen it.
that's probably been made too anyway. Like the
Well,
idea
there's-
you're
there's-
talking about, it's not
There's a whole series. I actually named an episode after 3 or 4 of them.
okay.
There's Gothic, there's
Right.
Haunted Summer. But if you like me, burn with irresistible desire to penetrate the unknown.
So it's really weird. I hadn't really thought about this before, but if you go to my Grindr profile, my entire bio is if you like me burn with the irresistible desire to penetrate the unknown, carry on. That's my bio on
Oh,
Grindr.
is it? Okay.
Yep. Good night, folks. No. Oh, wait,
Take it away, Jake. Yeah. I don't even have a reply to
you had
I have
nothing?
no reply to that.
Yep. I wouldn't be the first.
That's all I got. I was just
Oh, okay. Well,
throw these other 4
all right,
cards
well,
away after
we're-
that.
So
because-
he does mention. I don't have the. I might have to look it up. Where he says, I don't know, like every single you hated, but mayhap where I have failed, you will succeed.
Oh, well, yeah, I've got a few things prior to that.
Excellent.
Even though the path is cruel, carry on.
Yeah. Even though cruel and torturous.
Why
I
would
gotta
you?
say, I really do like the delivery. I like Basil Rathbone reading it.
He's actually really good in this scene. He's a lot more subdued than he is in most.
Yeah.
He's
Sorry, I'm starting an argument that it's been taking place in my head for years with you and Dino. He's fucking great.
He's good in this scene. I'm not going to say he's great, but he's good. It's a measured performance here in this sequence, unlike some that are to come.
I'm sure we said this before, but it's like The Shining, where he gets more and more kooky as it goes on. I think we'll find. And
Yeah,
then suddenly
he's
at the
pretty
last second,
kooky.
everything's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe it's a dream. Maybe the end of this is a dream.
Yeah.
It's more,
that's
well,
it.
we'll
It
get
may
there.
make a lot more sense.
We'll talk about it in 2023.
Why would Henry encourage his son to go through all the shit that he did? I would think you wouldn't. I wouldn't even want my son to know I had done this, let alone encourage him to follow in my footsteps. You're
right.
Frankenstein and Sons, probably not.
Frankenstein and Sons.
Yeah.
You dig him up.
Yeah,
We'll animate him.
Yeah.
Whatever. He's an animator.
You
do?
save money by digging your own grave. Apparently,
Frankenstein animation. I would agree with you.
reanimation.
Reanimation?
Yeah.
That works too. But in the first film, he says that body's never been alive or whatever. It's not reanimated.
Okay, fine.
And then he contradicts himself.
But
We
it's-
talked about it.
yeah,
Go back to
it's
week
seven.
7 or whatever. So I would agree with you in... okay, so this is the topic we're talking about, which is, doesn't sound like Henry wrote this. Doesn't sound like the Henry we know. Because we watched... This maybe sounds similar. You could see the Henry from the first 10 minutes of the first film, or 20 minutes, or 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Actually, 35 minutes. First half of...
Prior to all hell breaking loose.
Prior to all hell breaking loose. And then we see
So then the next 85
weeks in our podcast.
or whatever, yeah, he's had a terrible lesson. He fights Pretorius up until I think the heart is beating on its own. Then he kind of changes his tune.
That's what I'm getting at. Thank you. You're leading into what I'm saying, which is Henry does have these moments where I'm convinced that he starts to buy into Praetorius' bullshit, and that guy could write something like this. So it's not inconceivable, as I say, to have a decade or two off with Pretorius buried
long
under rubble.
dead, yeah, monster out of his life.
And
As far as
the
we
bride
know.
presumably buried
As
under
far
rubble.
as we know, they're gone.
Yeah, this is going to be. If you guys are expecting a monster to come back,
You are
he's dead.
You're sadly mistaken. I mean, the title is Son of Frankenstein, not Son of Frankenstein's Monster.
Monster.
So just get that out of your head.
So it is conceivable to me that Henry could have these moments, and maybe
yeah.
maybe he was drunk when he wrote this. I don't know.
It's very well. It being Calling Clive, it was pretty likely that he was. So
Yeah, that's true. It'd be a hell of a thing if everybody was forced to write a letter like this to their progeny.
yeah,
Is progeny a word?
Yeah.
Is it the correct word?
Monsters.
Offspring?
yeah, because Frankenstein was her monstrous progeny.
Is progeny a synonym for offspring? Because if so, I'm going to start using it all the time.
I think so.
Refer to my progeny.
I'm sure someone will correct us if we're wrong, but I believe so.
I don't
like
know.
I said, in her 1831 introduction, she encourages her monstrous progeny to go on
Okay.
and prosper.
I'm convinced. Here's the problem with me getting hung up on the word progeny and having a few seconds to think about it. If I wrote a letter like this to my kids, they'd be like, "Oh, for fuck's
Yep.
sake! Oh my God!" I'm totally gonna. I'm gonna insist on this in my will now. You will have a I don't know what do you call it, a wake or whatever, and you will read this letter.
Reading of the yeah.
Crack it open. I'm insistent upon it, and I've already spelled it out, and I've recorded my voice on vinyl, scratchy vinyl. I'm gonna put on a record. To my progeny.
You've seen the
I leave the entire benefits from the Frankenstein Minute podcast, such as it is.
so nothing basically.
You owe $680. Oh shit!
You've seen the deleted scenes from Young Frankenstein, right?
Is that where I'm getting that from?
There is a deleted scene where it's actually
That might be where I'm getting that from.
General Burkhalter is like the lawyer who's playing the record.
Okay.
And at the end, it's something like, I've upped my whatever, now it's time to up yours, up yours, up yours, up yours. And it goes on for like 10 minutes of that.
That's cute.
That was like the only funny sequence they cut out that they should have probably left in.
Yeah.
There's one sequence with
there's
this
some-
Jack Sprat, the highwayman or something, and you're just watching it like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, this is it's fascinating to see a movie that comes across as structured so well,
So perfectly,
and then
yeah,
see
and
the
see the-
deleted stuff and go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Boy, we're
Wow,
lucky.
wow, did we dodge
I
that
think I've said it
bullet?
98,000 times, but have you seen the deleted scenes from Star Wars?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's brutal. We
Yeah,
had like a
there's some-
half an hour on
there's some
Tatooine.
pretty
with
tough
Biggs
Biggs
and
and-
Cammy and
What's her name? Koo Stark is.
Cammy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's Koo Stark.
Yeah.
So,
So,
where did Henry? Okay, if I fail, what is it? Failed something? May
well, he said first of all, he'll be hated, blasphemed, and condemned.
yeah, like all.
You know,
stupid
there's an
after
endorsement. There's an endorsement to follow in Dad's footsteps, go into the family business too.
I don't know. It's romantic, right?
Yeah,
you're a
it's like-
seeker after
but-
truth.
well, when
this
my-
podcast is seeks
When
truth,
my father passed away, he
and we've
left
been
a letter.
condemned.
Yeah, we have. He left a letter saying, that if I go into the meat cutting business, that I'll be hated, blasphemed, and condemned. around, so I
actually
chose
were.
not to follow that
We
path.
actually, it's been a while. I think we've been around too long, and we just have our listeners, and then
And then
that's it.
that's
Then
it.
nobody new
Nobody's-
coming
yeah,
around. But we did
to
have a couple of people right off the bat who were like, too negative.
Well, fuck them. Yeah.
We were blasphemed
Yeah.
and condemned.
So he said, "Where I have failed, you may succeed," is what he says.
Mayhap. Does he say
Mayhap. Mayhap. Yeah, mayhap you may succeed. I
Where?
think.
Wait. Yeah. Mayhap.
Where I've failed,
Mayhap. Where I failed, you will succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where did he fail? I think.
I mean, technically, he failed in trusting Fritz to provide the brain, I guess, if you're going to follow that route. Where he failed is not having any follow through, not taking the responsibility that he should have. And it's probably more true of Victor Frankenstein than Henry.
Okay.
But Victor just fucking leaves.
You have such more interesting thoughts about this topic, in my opinion, than I do. Because I still think he failed in trying to do any of this. Like digging up the graves, like sitting in the standing in the graveyard
Absolutely.
with Fritz, to me is like,
Absolutely.
that's where you failed, you fuck.
Absolutely.
You know?
But without that, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about it. So I don't really take that into.
Okay. Well, I like to talk about Hitler, but I think he failed in almost everything he did. Unlike a lot of people, and in fact, we talked about this on the podcast. I think it's actually apt. Hitler was a complete failure.
Yes.
Everything he did was a
Everything.
fucking disaster.
Yeah.
He didn't succeed in any way. Even any little minor successes he may have had are overshadowed by the grand
failure that he.
And I say that about Henry.
Oh,
It's a
you can say it
grand
about our
failure.
previous president too. That everything he touches turns to shit.
That's interesting. We don't live in a dictatorship, so I think I tend to look at presidents
We
differently.
almost did.
Because as a president who seemed to be dedicated to doing harm to the country,
Yeah.
I think his failures were pretty great, pretty cool. I'm pretty
Well,
happy that he
I'm
was
pretty happy that
unable
he failed
to
at everything
destroy
he tried to do. Yeah.
Exactly. Only Nixon can go to China. Only Trump can go to fucking North Korea.
Only Trump
apparently.
can save us from the virus, apparently, too.
Yeah, well, we're pretending that didn't happen.
You inherit the fortune of the Frankensteins, and unless Goldstadt / Frankenstein is not very litigious, I don't think there'd be much left of the fortune after all this transpired.
Interesting. I hadn't thought of it in those terms.
That, whatever family survived Maria's, her immediate family was killed, but it's got to be cousins, uncles, whatever out there that would sue the shit out of Henry for wrongful death.
I love that example you give, because it's entirely possible that the monster just wiped out the whole bloodline and there's nobody left.
There's
to
nobody
sue.
left. It's just the three of them, yeah.
It was just it. They're like, whatever happened to Hans?
Yeah.
Hans!
What happened to Ludwig is what I want to know.
Ludwig.
The actual father of Maria.
Well, right. Yeah, absolutely. But it's funny you mentioned that, because he says you've inherited the fortune of the Frankensteins. What if he's talking about Ludwig? Like, he just says my son. He's got a brother, this gentleman, Wolf. He has a brother, right?
That's
Named
right.
Ludwig.
That's true.
So what happened to him?
Well, that's
Why
not
doesn't he
Ludwig
get
I
any of
was-
the fortune of the Frankensteins?
Right.
Has he been written out of this?
Because he doesn't exist yet in this cinematic omniverse.
Well, that's the true answer. Come on, quit bringing reality into it.
all right.
I think it'd be funny if he read that and he said, wait a minute, I've inherited the fortune of the Frankensteins? This is great.
This is awesome.
Trust is an odd word to use here.
I trust you will not inherit.
I just don't even understand what it means in this context. Trust?
I hope.
trust.
I think it's like
If
I
it
hope.
means hope, I think hope is actually the right word.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing about that to me. What is the fate of the Frankensteins? If one bad thing happens to one guy, is this now the fate of the entire family? It seems like the fate of the... Okay, so
Yeah.
just take Henry out.
Yeah.
What's the fate of the Frankensteins? It's great. Everybody's fucking happy and everything's great. It's a big fucking party all the time. You get to yell at the cops. The mayor comes to your house. You tell him to fuck off. And you
yeah.
hand out beer to the people. And you
Yeah.
everything seems fucking great throughout all of recorded history.
Except
and
for
one guy
ruins it for everybody.
says this is now the fate of the Frankensteins. I guess maybe that's what I should put in my letter to my progeny. I killed a homeless guy under a bridge in Minneapolis in 1996. Like I said, podcast is nothing if not evidence for some future legal proceeding.
Class action suit later on.
Yeah, why does Wolf inherit the? I guess it did. I guess you're right. Your
Well,
answer.
he kind of spells out the fate of the Frankensteins in the scene in the train.
Okay.
Why 9 out of 10 people surveyed he referred to that misshapen creature as Frankenstein.
Yep.
Frankenstein.
And then the other dentist. I think
Yep.
you made that gag already.
Yeah, we did. But it's still funny.
Yep, you can't go wrong
can't-
with that one.
yeah,
They don't
yeah.
use that anymore, though.
No, it was that Dentine or something.
Maybe it was
Sugarless
Dentine.
gum, yeah.
What was funny was,
That fifth dentist is like, yeah, fuck you.
yeah,
You hurt my business.
you heard my business.
Bubble yum is the...
That joke was made so much that I remember reading an article where they purported to respond to that, which was the other dentist said, "Don't chew gum at all. It's bad for your teeth."
Right. That makes sense.
So,
Well, I just completely
shit on your-
ruined my whole childhood
hate
there.
to go all Snopes on you.
Yeah, thanks.
Did you hear what happened to Snopes?
No.
They had a bad day yesterday.
Did they?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We don't need to get into it. Just
Just know that they had a bad...
use your imagination.
Yeah, well, yeah, it doesn't...
It was plagiarism. They were
Oh.
going out and stealing articles from other people and posting
okay,
them themselves
sure.
without
permission.
proper attribution.
Okay. Igor chooses this minute to do a little window peeping.
Was that here? Why
Yeah.
don't I have that?
I don't know.
Oh, it's right here. I just
It
missed
is
it. Yeah.
right. It is right here.
It's fucking fantastic. Lee has once again squeezed Lugosi.
into a scene.
Actually, it's Lugosi.
Yeah, well,
They
you
s-
keep on saying that.
And then what? If I say it 3 times, he'll appear?
Yep.
Lee has squeezed Lugosi into another shot.
You're not going to pronounce it like that for the rest of this fucking podcast.
You should see
Otherwise,
Tom
I'm
right
quitting.
now. He's
I'm
rubbing his eyes.
quitting right now.
Bela Lugosi.
This is my last episode.
Yep. He is suffering through the worst indignity that an actor, like you've seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
And you watch the commentary where they talk
Cleese
about how
complains
Graham
about-
Chapman. Well, no, that one too. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, you're right. Cleese is in hell. I forgot about that's probably a better
Yeah,
example.
yeah,
but I was
Cleese-
talking about late in the film, almost at the very end, where Chapman is standing outside the actual castle.
Oh, yeah, having like
and
real
having
shit and
dropped on him,
entrails
and you just
dumped.
look at his face, and he's
He's
not having a good day. Yeah, he was still full on in the drinking
Yeah.
too. So
well, no,
probably-
because shortly after the first few days, he cut back because he realized he was
Oh, he did?
holding up production.
Oh, I thought for sure he was.
But he was
going
still
the whole thing.
drinking, but not to the extent where it held up.
Okay.
Because he knew, we got no money whatsoever and hardly any time. So
Well, it comes up so many times in the commentary. I guess I
Yeah.
just have assumed that it was the whole time.
yeah, I'm sure it was an issue the whole time. But I know he.
Well, either way, the point I'm
But anyway,
making is
but yes,
he's
you're right.
suffering through this indignity of having what appears to be shit
actual
dropped on his
shit.
head.
I can't believe
and
it
trying
really.
to deliver lines.
I can't believe it was real shit.
No, I can't imagine you.
There's
It'd be
no
not worth it to find it.
Yeah,
Well, no. What am I saying? You can just get manure, I guess.
I get, but
It doesn't
mix
look
up
that
some
much like
pudding.
shit. It's
no,
fine, yeah. But that's what's going on here. Is Bela Lugosi? Sorry,
I'm out of here. I'm fucking done right now.
Bela Lugosi.
Thank you. I'll accept Bela because I think that's how
Bela
it's-
is a good point.
yeah.
Sure, he has fallen from grace pretty far over the time. We've talked about this,
Yeah,
already,
yeah.
but he's fallen way further than anybody else. That's
Oh,
in
certainly,
this.
certainly.
Well, maybe not so far as Dwight Fry, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just you look at this and he's grinning. He's madly grinning.
Yeah,
outside.
he
the
likes
window.
what he sees in the window.
He spent 4 hours in makeup.
yeah,
and they're
they're
pouring
dumping
water on him.
gallons of water on
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
Presumably they just use piss. I mean,
Oh,
they just
sure.
use piss.
Absolutely. There's guys up on the catwalks just
There's 19 guys gathered around pissing on Bela Lugosi.
there's your Doc Ivan graphic for it.
Oh no! Follow us on.
What else
Oh.
did I? That's all. Yeah, that's all.
All
I
right.
have.
Okay. All right. Well, leave all that in. You can see it on here. It's just a silence right there.
I thought I had more, but it must be for the next minute.
Okay. What you want to do though, is make sure if you think that this is something that you want to see continue, we're early in our 4th year of doing this. You can just go ahead and just give $2 a month over at patreon.com/Frankenstein Minute. And what's great about that is people forget. You get every episode a day early on Frankenstein Thursday.
Well, speaking of Doc Ivan, he
Doc
celebrates that by doing the graphic a day early.
Well, don't hold him to that.
I'm not,
Like, he's done
but
it a
he's
couple
done it a
times.
few
We're not gonna
times,
hold-
and
we
it's-
don't listen.
It's great.
We don't
'cause
employ Doc Ivan. He can do whatever he wants.
Oh yeah, no.
God help us, the man needs a vacation. Honestly, for a while, I'd been thinking that the main advantage to having our episodes come out a day early is that it gives him a day to figure out what
he's going to do. Yeah. What I
All
need
right.
to do is go back and find each one from each episode and post it on the IMDb listing for those episodes, along with
goodness.
the graphic I generated.
God.
But that's, if I find myself,
God. Yeah, we're on
absolutely nothing to
IMDb.
do. Yeah, we are on IMDb.
Did you link to Dave Barsky? So when you go to Dave Barsky's IMDb, is
yeah,
he on our, our show?
Dino is, so is
Dino is on there.
Wallace Matthews, too.
Oh, he's on there too?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Well, nice. All right. Follow us there on IMDb.
IMDb. Like us anyway, because I think I'm the only one so far that has.
You can like us on IMDb.
Or you can rate us of like,
Oh,
was like
my
1 through
goodness.
5 or something like that, or 10, no, up to 10.
Up to oh, sure. It's
Yeah.
like a movie, or
Yeah.
it's actually listed as a TV, series, which is weird.
Yeah.
But that's what
But it
they
does say audio only.
do. Okay, so that's what we are.
Yeah.
Well, we are on YouTube.
Yeah, so
That's right.
technically, yeah.
All right. Follow us on YouTube.
Sure.
Whatever.